Hiking one of the most famous and highest peaks in the Great Smoky Mountains is a one-time check mark on many bucket lists. For one record setter in his 80s, a hike up Mount LeConte is just a typical Wednesday.
We are going to Mount LeConte. This is my first hike this year, if I make it.
Record breakers on any path share something in common.
Trying to shoot for my goal, I was doing it 3 to 4 times a week.
It all starts with the first step and the drive to take another and another.
Because I think this is probably the most scenic trail in the park.
This is the most scenic.
In my opinion. It's going to be icy, I can promise you that. Don't you follow those, Sandy? Grabber. Those do great on ice.
Larry Russell doesn't have a nickname, but based on his historic feat, we'll call him Larry Legend, because on the third highest peak in the Smokies, the regulars know who soaks up these views more than most.
He's kind of known on this mountaintop as Larry, who's done all the hikes.
It doesn't get much better than this.
How old do you think that guy is?
No,
I'll say,
I'll be honest.
I'll say 65.
65?
That's about what I was thinking.
Do I look that old?
He's 80 years old.
Oh my goodness.
Hearing the record he set in 2023 stops fellow hikers in their tracks.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, that's so impressive.
What's the goal?
Last year, at the age of 80, Larry Russell set out to hike Mount LeConte 80 times. The signature peak in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park towers almost 6,600 feet. The round trip is almost 11 miles. Elevation gain is a steady hump at more than 2,700 feet.
I decided to try to hike my age. I got to 80 in September and decided, well, may as well go for 100.
Larry reached the age record 80 round trips by September, then hit 117 for the year, averaging close to 2 summits twice a week for a full year.
Before it was known, there's only 4 people that did 100 in a year.
But one of 4 who've done 100 times in 1 year.
Correct. And the oldest.
And the oldest.
When I did my 100th hike, my son went with me on that, so that was pretty neat. Yeah. I know I'm the oldest person to ever hike their age.
How does that feel to say?
You know, it's just
no big deal.
no big deal.
A military veteran, Larry joined during the war in Vietnam, served in Korea, and would go on to an almost 40-year career in law enforcement. And perhaps not surprisingly, at his department, helped usher in the first bicycle beat.
But I actually did my first hike when I moved up here in September of 2012 was my first hike.
After retiring a dozen years ago, Larry made it a mission to stay active, and his regular hiking partner Sandy says setting summit records is just so Larry.
So few people that can do what he's done. He's pretty amazing.
What's our time check?
Grandpa time, 2:51.
Grandpa time, 2:51. What kind of slow journalist did you have rolling you? And this is the moment where the slow journalist slipped and fell, but the camera restarted, and we celebrated. Is this 472?
We had 472.
472 times lifetime.
Correct.
Way to go. It takes the average hiker about 3 hours to reach the summit of Mount LeConte here. Larry has done it in half that time, 1 hour and 37 minutes. But he'll tell you that was 2 years ago when he was still young.
If you've never been, go.
Larry Legend pauses at the LeConte summit long enough for a picture with friends and the winter caretaker of the lodge. Then it's back down. For people who haven't seen the views on LeConte, how do you describe them?
Awesome.
The first hike of 2024, and far from the last.
How many times? It depends on how long I live and how healthy I stay. Not bad for an old man.
Not Not bad for an old man. The 472 summits equals more than 5,000 miles, almost like hiking from LA to New York, then back to Denver. Larry is also part of another exclusive club, the 900 Milers Club, a select group who have hiked all 900 miles of trail within the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. Now, Larry checked that box once, but his hiking partner Sandy repeated that feat 5 times. Larry says she's crazy. We'll be right back.